Hey everyone, welcome to the Sharecode Showcase, where we feature just some of the best new maps, liveries, and tunes submitted by our community. If you have any creations you want to suggest, whether it be your own or someone else's, jump in our Discord and add it to the Sharecode zone. If you want to see anything we've shared previously, go ahead and check out the archive on my website. This sheet is especially relevant for sharecodes that get updated or changed after the video releases. And speaking of, let's start off today by taking a quick look at an update to one of my favorite maps we've shared on this series, Nitro's Auto Garage. This is version 4. We first featured V3 back in episode 2, but since then it's had a bit of a touch-up. The first thing you'll notice is the much cleaner ramp up to the garage, and on the left here, there's a gas station. I think many other players have always felt like Horizon 5's map is missing a real gas station, which is obviously a very popular spot to take car photos, so having one here is fantastic. Aside from the gas station though, out back behind the garage has been completely reworked, with Nitro adding a neat little test track, which is actually phenomenal for taking action shots. Some of the lighting and surfaces have been reworked as well, and a lot of the little photo shoot spots tucked around the map have been touched up too. I just wanted to take a brief moment to shout out this update because it is still my absolute favorite spot to take car photos, and these updates just make an already amazing map even better. Now let's take a look at our first proper new feature of the video, recommended by one of my mods, Deathcap, and this one is incredible. It's a Nico Circuit replica by Dorifdo Merc. Of course, there are a lot of replica drift tracks out there, and a lot of them are quite good, but nothing so far that I've tried has matched the quality of this map here. Now, Nico is a pretty flat track, which makes the layout and track surface easier to build smoothly, so even though you're completely on custom prop roads, driving and drifting feels super solid. And Nico is just a great layout already, so drifting it in Horizon feels fantastic. But on top of that, of course, so much of what makes an Event Lab replica track feel more like the real thing is all the extra bits around the track. The scenery, the buildings and pit lanes, all the set dressing, if you will. And that, to me, is what sets this replica apart. Merc has gone through so much work and made the most out of a fairly limited set of props to very accurately place the buildings, pit area, road markings, runoffs, tire stacks, and even foliage. Even the location of the track within the world map feels well thought out and looks like rural Japan. With most replica maps, I load in and start driving and have thoughts like, oh yeah, I see what they were trying to do here. Or, oh, those props are probably supposed to represent that thing. They feel more like memories of the real place, and that's not the creator's fault. It's hard to make a real-looking track replica in the Blueprint Builder. But again, Merc has pulled some serious magic here to genuinely put me in Nico Circuit. I cannot recommend this one higher, folks. If you're into drifting, or even just want a tight autocross style track to race on, Nico Circuit by Dorifdo Merc is the place to go. Now let's keep the drift theme going here and look at our second drift track of the day. One that I actually drove on stream a little while ago and had a blast with. It was then recommended by Ami in the Discord. This is the SWS Tandem drift track by Ghostface Skilla. I'm going to splice in some footage from our stream during this section here where I was on version 1, but currently I'm driving version 3, which has added more track layouts and some additional aesthetic props. Now, like I said, I found this one myself while streaming one day. I was looking for a good tandem track because Horizon's open world isn't the best for tandems, but even many of the Event Lab drift tracks that I've recommended often are a bit tough to tandem on. This is because they're either a bit too tight, too bumpy, or just don't have a great flow for tandems. This layout, though, is purpose-built, and they nailed it. The road surface, even though using older platforms from before the prop update, is still perfectly smooth. The corners don't have any rough edges or weird drop-offs either. The main layout I used flowed beautifully in solo. But also for tandems, there are some slower and faster sections, but it all links together really easily and gives enough space for the lead driver to transition and corner how they want to, while also making sure the chase driver, or drivers, don't have to slow down too much and awkwardly straighten or back off, and there's still plenty of room to catch up, especially on the higher speed sections towards the back of the layout. The track width allows for drivers to choose an inside or outside line if they need to speed up, get closer, or slow down to let the chase catch up. This, to me, is a nearly perfect tandem track. Again, we ran this one on stream with 12 random viewers from chat, and it worked seamlessly. The track is big enough to allow drivers enough space to space out and find their own groups, and we often had trains of 3 to 4 cars running lap after lap without issue. One potentially unintended aspect of the layout I really loved was this spot right here, where you can pull over and get this great 360 view of the whole map. And with 11 other drivers sliding around, it just feels like drifting heaven. It seriously gave me goosebumps watching other cars chase each other through the trees, leaving huge smoke trails in their wake, only to be interrupted by a big tandem train flying by right in front of me. This is one you'll definitely be seeing on the stream again, as this has become my go-to for tandems, and I'd love to get a big group of players familiar with the layouts and even run some competitions or something on the track. So we've got a couple of great drift maps this week. Let's continue that theme and stay on this track for a bit while looking at our tune of the video, a wide-body drift build for the R31 Skyline. This one actually sits right at the top of A-Class and would work well for taking into Horizon's online drift mode. Being a drift build, it is of course rear-wheel drive and running snow tires as well as an RB swap. Now, I'll admit, I think it's pretty easy to make a basic drift tune. After all, you just can slap on all the drift parts on any rear-wheel drive car, give it enough power, and it'll slide well enough. But with that in mind, I find it a lot harder to make an actual good drift tune, one that really feels dialed in, and Killer Spectre has nailed that feeling. This car drifts with so much control. The grip level is perfect, it doesn't feel like you're sliding on ice, but you can actually put power down and transition quickly and scrub speed when needed. But it's not too grippy to cause you to straighten up if you slow down or go off throttle too much. The gearing also complements the grip. Spectre recommended 3rd and 4th to be the main drifting gears, and I agree. 3rd gives you plenty of range, and even on tighter corners, the torque and tire grip pull you through without losing angle, and you can still carry it up and extend without having to shift. But if you need to maintain some serious speed, 4th gear is close to 3rd, but just far enough to allow for some high-speed sliding. The steering angle and the wheelbase also allow for some serious drift angle without spinning out. This quickly made its way into my drift build favorites, and works well for solo, PR stunts, or tandems. I absolutely recommend giving this one a look if you want to see what a properly tuned drift car should feel like, at least in my opinion. Alright folks, now let's wrap up the video by taking a look at a couple of liveries for a few Japanese sports cars, as if we haven't gotten enough JDM influence in this video yet. This first design you're seeing, shot in Nitro's Auto Garage V4, is by Dat Ford Boy for the Hoonigan Twerkstallion, or Hertz Custom FC RX-7. And what a great new look for the car. I'm a big sucker for gold, and gold on white on a build like this is just crazy enough to work. It stands out so well and looks incredible in any lighting. The decals are all done beautifully, and the overall design is super clean. This is one of those designs that really encourages me to take another look at the car and see if I can find more use for it, so I have more of a reason to look at the great livery. And then our next and final livery is for the Nismo 370Z, our final car pass car. This is the Nexen Tire Z by Pretty Lewd. Now, I know some people love matte finishes, but it's something I personally feel is hard to pull off. A lot of the time, I just think it looks tacky. Not here though. This is absolutely a design that pulls off that sleek matte look. Again, the design work here is top notch, super clean and well placed decals, and it looks good even with different aero on the car. And I just can't get enough of this kind of pro street vibe for the 370 here. This is a very high quality livery that works well in my opinion for either race or drift. And folks, that's going to do it for this Sharecode showcase. As always, there was a ton of great content shared in the Discord that didn't make the video, so make sure you check out the Sharecode zone if you're looking for more. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.